Hello, everyone. Hello to anybody listening today. My name is Nikki. This is the Still Point podcast, and my guest today is none other than my wonderful mother-in-law, Jane Henstock, who's not only my mother-in-law, but also somebody I would consider a good friend, and also a Still Point member. And the reason I invited Jane here today is because she, for me, really embodies the idea of living the day well and therefore living your life well. So our theme this month is living the day well, and I started the month with this quote, Jane, by Annie Dillard, which says, "How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives." So
Absolutely.
I thought you would be a wonderful person. So, hello, and thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Very
So,
exciting.
I wanted to start off by talking about this idea of living the day well, and it can feel like an abstract idea, but to make it real, I'd love it if you shared a little bit with me what your average kind of day looks like. What do you get up to?
Well, I'm very spoiled because um, I'm retired, obviously. Um, and so my day is just to enjoy myself. And sometimes I am inclined to try and uh, put too many things into the day, which, yes, I think maybe is the only negative. But no, I mean, each day it's either tennis or callanetics and bridge and uh, canasta and um, meeting meeting friends in Fishhook and but busy. The only thing is, I think when one gets older, you're not doing things at night. But in that way,
Mm,
I'm fortunate because I live in a village. Um, so, you can very easily walk down to your friend and
mm,
get-togethers and
mm.
wine. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm very, very fortunate. And I do
Lovely.
my things every day, every day.
Yes, I do know that about you. And I suppose, yes, you've mentioned so many things. I know that you also go to the theatre, you love the ballet. How do you decide what it is you say yes to and what you decide to let go of? Is it a conscious process for you or?
Um, I was about to say, oh, if it means driving to Cape Town, but that's not the case because we do drive to Cape Town, but not not at night. And we don't really go too far at night. I'm very lucky to live very close to uh, the the Nordhook village. So
Mm,
there's food barn and there are restaurants there, and it's literally a 5 minute drive. So one
mm,
one does that, but yes, and unless it's somebody's daughter who's taking us, which happened, we went to the Cape Town City Hall, which was fantastic. But yeah, that's not
mm.
that's not the norm. But yes, I'm
But otherwise, you pretty much say
blessed.
yes to all the opportunities.
Oh yes, oh yes, yes.
And
Unless it's
then,
something I really don't want to do,
of
and then
course.
suddenly enough, I get the sore throats, which just seems to come. And my theory is that we, at this stage, I shouldn't be doing anything I don't want to do. So
Oh,
how
could not
lucky is
agree
that?
more. Mm. Could not agree more because you're grown up. You're an adult now. And then I was curious, this idea of kind of living the day well. Is there anything, and I don't actually know the answer to this question, even though I have known you for many, many years, is there anything at all that you do every single morning without fail, that sort of sets the tone for your day, or not really? Do you have a ritual? Do you have some sort of something you do every single day to set the tone for your day?
I suppose I think about what I'm going to do in the day and how fortunate I am. Um, um, yes. And
Mm.
of course, I look at my beautiful view, and that's my meditation.
Mm.
Because again, I live in a wonderful spot with a view, and you look
Mm.
across at the mountains, and um, yeah, it's magic.
Mm. So, I mean, already about three times now in just 5 minutes, you've mentioned feeling very lucky, feeling very fortunate,
Mm,
gratitude.
mm.
Is gratitude something that you consciously have a part of your life, or do you think that's just the way that you think?
Uh, I think I'm very conscious of it now because there are people who live in. I mean, well, after that storm, I mean, goodness,
Mm.
if you aren't grateful, there must be something terribly wrong with you. But also in the village, people who, you know, don't seem to be able to live the life that I lead and
Mm.
plan holidays to the game park and uh, book book reviews and um, trips to Hermanus. Um, so
Mm.
I do almost feel guilty. How about
Mm.
that? And
Almost, but not
that
quite.
right. I like that.
Almost. Uh, I mean, chuckle, chuckle. You are one of my favorite people. You're somebody who I laugh with so much. And for me, you're just one of the happiest people I know. And so I was wondering, do you think that you were born with a sunny disposition? Or do you think that happiness is a skill you've had to kind of practice and cultivate in your life?
I think without actually being aware of it, uh, but yes, I did have a period in my life where I wasn't happy. And I difficult to say, I wonder if people were aware, but because I was living somewhere where I hadn't lived before, maybe people I got to know didn't know me any other way. But yes,
Mm,
so yes, I have had my time of not being happy, but uh,
mm,
with oh, and I I do remember when we were in America and we'd been living in various countries, and I said to my husband, just 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 tell me when I can go back to Cape Town. I don't mind how long it's going to take, but just give me a time. So obviously, I haven't always been happy. And he couldn't give me
mm.
a time, of course, so he had no idea. Mm.
Okay, and so when you are not having either a good day or when you don't feel generally happy, what or even now when you wake up and you're not necessarily in the best mood, what do you do when you wake up that way? Is there anything you say to yourself, or do you just accept that you're not in a good space today?
No, I just tell myself how fortunate I am, aren't I? I mean, I'm dry and I'm warm, and yes, sometimes I think, oh, I do miss my girls, but then I pull myself together and say, well, I'm going to see them. I'm going to see them. It's just a matter of time. Yeah.
Oh.
Or like we both said, oh, this time last year I was in Portugal. Yes. And that was
Mm.
very special. But then I look back on those wonderful memories of
Mm.
and how exciting it was, especially as my neighbor takes off today for Portugal. Hmm. The-
Oh. Oh, and
Mm.
we're still looking to convince you to come in September. So, and then, you mentioned earlier times where you haven't been happy, bigger, grander times. I mean, you've navigated some of life's biggest challenges, living in different countries for very long periods of time, um, divorce, being widowed, and in these very difficult periods, how do you think you managed to keep your spirits up? What was the anchor that sort of stopped you from being swept away in, um, yeah,
I think it was my children.
mm,
Mm.
just your relationship with them, or
Well, I think that they're both very strong, stronger than me. And certainly when I got the news that my husband had died, my daughter's reaction was, don't make a fuss now, Mom. You'll upset the children. Um,
gosh,
so, it was, and I had a father, it was stiff upper lip. Yes.
mm,
So, yes, I don't know whether you're putting all that inside you. You most probably are.
mm,
And has it got to come out sometime? I don't know, but I think it's sort of disappeared, hopefully.
mm. It's interesting that though, because my feeling was always if you suppress something, you sweep it under the
Yes,
carpets or whatever, it's going to come out in some awful way. But
yes,
perhaps the reason it doesn't with you is because of the gratitude, because the fact that you look on the bright side. It's not toxic positivity. It's not, oh, let's just pretend everything's fine. It's no, let's look
no,
at what do we have to be
really,
grateful for.
and yes, yes, so much.
Mm,
Mm,
sure.
interesting.
Um, so yes, I mean, you mentioned your relationship with your girls, and Still Point is obviously built on connection. So how important have friendships, community, family, how important have relationships and connection been in your life throughout the different chapters?
Well, because it was 12 different countries, and I just make some really good friends and then move on. Um, it was difficult to maintain friends, especially when you're never going to see them again. Uh, but of course, I was fortunate that I have a couple of very good school friends, but they live over the mountain. So, yes, we see each other once a month. So you can't say that that's a closeness. Um, and then very good friends get illnesses and
Mm,
cancer or whatever. And but I think that's inevitable at once you're in your 80s. I think
mm,
it's to be expected. Um, and I've lost my sister and my two brothers, uh, and they were all very, very special to me. Um,
mm.
but I got my
Oh,
girls.
I was going to say, what do you
All
say to
three of them.
yourself? Oh, yeah, I was going to say, that's all. It's a lot of loss, and a lot of people would be very down about that and sort of focus on that. But despite having had these wonderful relationships with them and the closeness, you don't seem to you don't seem to get down in the dumps about that kind of thing.
No, I was a little bit naughty on Mother's Day because uh, on a Sunday, we have quite a big gathering in the dining room. We
Hmm.
all have a special lunch and take our bottle of wine. Um, and there were very few of us. And the other one was, another Jane who doesn't have children, so that's fair enough. Obviously, she wasn't going to be with anybody. And then there was somebody else whose children were overseas. So there were just just three of us. So I think we were a little bit sorry for ourselves, knocked back a bit for more wine and had a few more laughs. Mm.
Oh, you had a little pity party on Mother's Day.
Yes, yes. I
Oh.
sound like an alcoholic, don't I? Every other word is.
Whatever gets you through the day. Um, so you've also, you do so many things, and I know you briefly touched on them. You know, the tennis and all of that, canasta, and I know you play bridge. I know you go away for weekends. You've been to Portugal twice in a year. Um, is that something that you consciously choose to do to keep yourself busy and active, or is it just what you want to do and part of your personality, do you think?
I think it's what I must do because sometimes I come back from tennis and I'll say to a friend at tennis, really, I'm letting down the side. And they say, don't you dare. And then if you go to Dr. Henry, he says you stay on that tennis court. Uh, don't even think. I mean, as long
Mm,
as your legs are working and whatever. Um,
mm,
and that's good. I do, not always, but I do make sandwiches for the for Malili.
mm,
I should do it every week, and I don't. Uh, and I'm about to say I don't like being committed to something every week, and there I am committed, but it's all the things I enjoy doing. I'm not I'm not crazy about making sandwiches, but yes, when
mm,
time allows it, I do my sandwiches.
mm,
And then
mm.
I feel I'm doing my bit.
Yes. So if you were able to give advice to women in their 40s or their 50s, um, somebody who maybe is not feeling her best or not in a good phase of life, feeling a little bit down, what would your advice be?
What's your advice? Well, what do you really like doing? And maybe what you really enjoy doing, you should just try and do a little bit more of it.
Hmm. That's really simple, but sound because
Well, it's not always possible, is it? I mean, you don't necessarily want to be sitting in front of a computer for 8 hours of a day. You'd much prefer to be writing.
mm,
And
mm.
so,
But there
yeah,
is always a way, you know. I mean, if you were to say that to me now, like, one of the things I love doing is gardening. And I
yes.
realized, I said to Bridge, that's something I miss. I miss that. And our landlords up here have very overgrown old vegetable boxes because when she had her second kid, she just stopped all of that. And I said to her, can I have one of them? And she said, absolutely, go for it. So now I have, I first went and I used one of the compost boxes. So I put compost through it all. Then we went and we got some parsley and some basil. And every time we go to the
Oh,
stores, I get another little herb. And now it's something I do every single day is I just go up there and I water and I
yes,
check them and I
yes,
take up the little weeds and if there's snails, I
yes,
chuck them into the garden
yes,
next door.
yes, yes.
So I totally agree with you.
It, it is lovely having a garden. I must say, I do enjoy my
Mm.
garden. Yes. I mean,
Mm.
it's an easy garden, but it's still a garden. So it still needs me. Yeah.
Yes.
And of course, we've had so much water that, one doesn't need to water, but you still
Mm.
have to talk to it and care about it. And
You
yeah, love it.
do. And there's
Mm.
just something so lovely about it because it's in nature and you
Yes.
can watch it change and grow and
Yes.
so I love your
And you,
advice
and
about think about the things you love doing and do them more because it
yes,
does do something for you. And if
yes,
it's something you can do on a daily basis, even if it's 5 minutes.
yes, yes. And of course, you're a cordon bleu cook. So
Mm.
you're actually growing the, the spices and things that you
Mm.
need. Yes, yes.
Mm.
And that's your love, isn't it? One of your loves.
Indeed. Oh,
Mm,
yes. Yeah, I
mm,
mean, I was thinking about, we always think about happiness and creating happiness and living well as the big events, the wedding and the maybe the big party and the time away. But I think, as per this quote that I quoted earlier on, it's actually about the stuff in between
mm,
because
mm.
those massive events don't happen that often.
No, no. And they can be so disappointing.
That is so true because you build
Mm,
yourself up so much. So it's
absolutely.
about the everyday. It's about the
Yes,
mundane. It's about Tuesday and a Thursday
yes,
afternoon.
yes, yes,
Mm.
absolutely. And if you've just got something each day which you enjoy, what could be better?
Mm.
Fill it in with other things, maybe that you don't enjoy quite so much. Bit of housework and that sort of shopping.
Yes. Oh, gross. Oh, so, so, so lovely. So, you're somebody, and do you mind if I say your age?
No.
Okay, so you turned 85 in November. I don't know anybody your age who lives as much as you do and who lives as well as you do.
Oh,
Um, so I suppose the first part of my question is, where do you get your energy from?
I think
Uh,
both my parents lived to a ripe old age, and yeah,
hmm,
my father played squash till in his 70s. My mother played her bridge, I suppose, up to her 80s. Yes, I
hmm.
think that has quite a lot to do with us, doesn't it? Oh.
Yes, I think so. The genetics, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah. And the second part of the question is, from literary festivals to travel to how much you read, um, the physical stuff you do, you're always learning. You're very, I mean, you even, you come to the soul circles, you come to the retreats, and I know it's not because you feel you have to. What role do you feel curiosity plays in keeping you so engaged with life?
I like to know what's going on. Um,
Hmm.
I get my, I get, for what it's worth, I get my Cape Times every Friday because I like the book to see if they're book reviews and that sort of thing. Um, and yes, just to be aware of what's going on. And I mean, I
Hmm.
know I know my daughters are not interested in the news at all, but I find it quite fascinating. I do. I'm sorry. I know it's all doom and gloom, but it's life and it's history and it's
Mm,
fascinating. And I mean, this weekend, I didn't see my news. I mean, I
mm,
suppose I could have, didn't, but well, there wasn't a television there. But no, I like to know what's going on and the
mm,
marching to get Starmer out. And you like the news too. And through you, Bridget sort of knows a bit of what's happening, but
yes, yes.
she's not really interested, and neither is Deborah. Which is
Uh,
it's funny, yeah.
mm, mm. Um, so, and then also, obviously you live by yourself, both your daughters overseas, but I think that there's a big difference between loneliness and solitude.
Yes,
So I
yeah.
wanted to know, how do you experience time by yourself? And, we all have these conversations going on in our heads all the time. So I was very curious because this is something I'm fascinated with, is how do you experience time by yourself and how do you talk to yourself? What is your conversations that you have with yourself? Are they generally positive? Could that be a reason you're such a positive person?
Oh, I think they're positive because there's always something to look forward to, isn't there? Um,
Mm.
I think that's what we said driving back from Franschhoek, you know. Oh, so what's the next thing you've got? Whereas my poor friend, I mean, she's going off on Tuesday for more cancer treatment. And here I am, so lucky, you know, I'm thinking of, oh, the trip to Hermanus or whatever. Not that I live for the trips, I don't, but it's still quite nice to have something
Mm. Mm.
that's there. Mm.
Yeah, something to look forward to.
I think
Okay, I mean,
so.
there's quite a few things I've taken away from this, and one of them is definitely focusing on what you're grateful for, being grateful, knowing that you are very lucky and very blessed. I think that's a very big part of your attitude. Keeping busy, doing the
Mm,
things you enjoy doing,
mm,
staying curious,
mm,
your connections, obviously. And that's just wonderful advice, I think, for anybody listening. And then just to end off, when all is said and done, what do you believe is the essence of a well-lived day? What does a well-lived day mean to you?
Well, I do think we should have some activity in it. I mean, I feel almost guilty, if I haven't, and sort of then I walk around the village, which doesn't excite me at all. But yeah, I feel that that's necessary. Don't know. Uh, and then to eat healthy food, I think's very important. Um, to sleep well and to have a good book. Oh, I have to have a good book. Even if it's not somebody else's idea of a good book, if it's holding my interest, I can't wait to get back to it.
So it's almost like you wake up excited for your day because you always have something planned. I know that about
Yes,
you. You always have at least one social thing and one active thing.
yeah,
And then it's like you end the day well because you can get into bed with your book. So it's like,
yes, yes. Mm,
ah, how amazing. How
mm.
absolutely wonderful. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I think you've given us a lot to think about. Yeah, and I really, really appreciate your time and your thoughts.
Thank you so much, Nikki. And you're an inspiration, I can assure you.
Oh,
Absolute inspiration.
thank you
Mm.
so much.
And living your dream. That's what
And
you
living
are.
my dream. Thank you so much to everyone listening, and we'll be back soon.